How is your Lent going right now? We're 2 days into it. Ash Wednesday was 2 days ago, and we're checking in to see how everybody's sacrifice is going. Jen, how is yours going?
I've only flubbed a couple of times.
Have you kept track of how many times you've done it?
3.
And Mr. hiding behind the paper there, how's yours going?
I'm busy, sorry.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
Jake, how's yours going?
Great.
All right, so I
Haven't
messed
broken yet.
up. I shouldn't have ever said I was going to give up gluten, which I should be doing anyway, but...
So what happened? I mean, like, I know you told us earlier that I blew it with Lent, and we weren't able to get into it, but what happened?
Someone, all I can say is someone made me a surprise pancake.
That gets me every time.
And
You can't really turn that down.
I couldn't turn it down. I didn't want to turn it down, and it was so good. I mean, it was really good. But the point is, so now the question is, like, I'm a big believer, like, if you're on a diet and you cheat, you should just jump right back.
Just keep going.
Just get right back on it. So, no, right? But with Lent,
within a diet, but this is Lent.
this is different. You're right. So, part of me is saying, well, you've already screwed it up. You screwed up all of Lent.
Yeah, you are going to hell now. That's what happens when you mess up on Lent.
Oh, man.
Everybody knows this.
No, that's a little extreme. No, I think it's the same.
Can we just ask for forgiveness and then jump back on the wagon, or should I just keep going and just enjoy gluten for the rest of the time? And my other one was chocolate, and I might have.
How's that going? Tony, what would Jesus do?
I just remembered I went Wednesday night and bought a pack of peanut M&Ms.
On the day of Ash Wednesday?
What was I thinking?
Maybe we need to put some ash on your forehead every day to remind you.
Well, that bums me out, too, because I didn't even go to church on Ash Wednesday, and I'm sure that a couple of the churches in my area were having services, and I didn't do anything Wednesday night. I should have gone.
Yeah,
that
you were busy
me.
buying peanut M&Ms.
Oh. But, and you know, that was funny is that I bought those ones that say the share with a friend pack. Yeah. Who does that? Who does that? That's not a share with the friend size. The bigger I eat the whole thing. I can eat 2 of those.
They're already gone?
When you're on Lent.
Even during Lent. I totally messed up. Is there any way of, like, getting back on the train? I mean, is there anything I can do?
Yeah, stop. I think,
stop now? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I think you just...
I think you're out, man.
Stop eating chocolate and gluten and start again
once
today.
You've blown it. Jen blew hers, within an hour of the first one. Hers is way harder.
You're judging me? What was yours? Yours was cursing. You said you weren't going to say the S word anymore.
Sometimes that one's hard.
That's a very difficult one because
only 3 times though.
It's not like you got to get out of your recliner and then walk to the kitchen and then pour yourself a soda or whatever it is that you're trying to give up.
The problem is that Jen and I are both Protestants, so we were not raised doing the whole Lent thing.
That's not the problem. You can't blame it on I didn't have it as a kid.
The devil made me do it. That's who made me do it.
Think about it this way. How many words do women speak a day? Like 20,000 or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like
that's regular women, not you.
Yeah. Oh. So you're at 30.
Okay, so 30,000 words a day. So that's 30,000 chances for me to flub. You eat how many times a day, Tony? 6, 7? 10?
Yeah, I eat a lot.
Not 30,000. I think mine's a lot harder.
Especially when it's such a big percentage of your normal vocabulary.
And yeah. But I mean, like, I had to seriously, like, I'm sitting there shopping. Why didn't I think you're not supposed to have chocolate?
Well, could it be that you just said it passingly, but it wasn't in your heart?
That is very true. It really wasn't in my heart when I was doing it. Like, I wasn't sold on it. Like, Jake, you can tell, he's sold on it. He's committed.
He picks it every year intentionally.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So as did both of you. I didn't spring it on you. It's Ash Wednesday. It's not a surprise.
But if Jake said to us, I'm going to go out there and jump off of a bridge, he would do it. Like literally, if he said to me, I'm going to go jump off a bridge, I'd be like, crap, Jake's getting ready to go jump off a bridge. Because if he says he's going to do something,
that is true.
Whereas you and I, maybe we're not lying. But in our mind, we're saying we're going to do it.
That's true.
And then we don't.
We have the best intentions.
Yeah. How many times have you broken, Jen?
3.
3 times?
Yeah.
Okay, 3.
2 yesterday, 1 this morning. And 2, both of them were with Mojo yesterday at lunch.
See, that's the thing.
And I said it, and then he pointed at me, and I was like, oh, no. And then I said it again because I said it.
Right.
But wait a minute. Working with Mojo alone, you should have known that you weren't going to be able to quit cursing because he makes me curse every day.
Gosh, he really is a sailor.
Yeah, and he's really annoying, too. Let's be honest.
Oh, jeez. He goes out of town for 2 days.
Well, and he really goes after you. He picks on you constantly.
Oh, he does. I think out of everybody, I get the most poked.
Yeah.
Poke the bear. Debbie says, start anew.
Oh, I need to click on the thing. Hold on.
Oh,
I got
okay.
it. You
Hang
did
on.
the right thing, but I got to click the other
Debbie
part.
says,
Hold on. Don't do it. There you go. Now do it. There you go.
start anew.
Nope. Sorry, Debbie. You're out and you're going to hell. That's how it works.
Oh, Debbie also says she loves the F word.
Debbie, you look like the type. I can see your picture on
Let's
there.
be honest. Who doesn't? I mean, I know even the people that are of the highest moral character. That's just a great word to drop. Doesn't it really relieve all tension, all anxiety, all anger in your body when you drop the F-bomb?
Well, Jen didn't give that one up, so
No, I didn't want to say that, but I heard her drop it a few times.
she didn't give that one up.
I gotta start with the one that's most consistent.
I was afraid maybe some folks from her small group at her church were listening. I didn't want to do it.
Shocking they haven't asked me to be in leadership
Now,
or anything.
Now, is cursing... Cursing is not really against the Bible.
It is
There's
really
no
not.
commandment that says you can't curse. You can't take the Lord's name in vain, but that's a different thing.
Yeah, and so there isn't really anything in the Bible that says you cannot use this word, that word. In fact, the word piss is in the Bible. That's considered a curse word. But I think there is a way around it because it says everything that comes out of our mouths should be of good moral character and should be...
What flows out of your mouth comes out of your heart.
And
so
yes, and that is
obviously I
true.
need to do some heart work.
Now, a curse
Isn't that
word
true?
doesn't necessarily make you immoral either.
No. And the people that I know, the Christians today, most of them curse. Like I know some pastors, one pastor I admire greatly. He just recently had cancer, and he was on Instagram, and he's got in remission. He had
Hashtag F cancer.
F cancer right on there.
That's a great hashtag.
Yeah, and so I mean, and it's funny because when I was a pastor and I hung around other pastors, they would curse when they weren't around people. When they're around other pastors, or when they weren't around people from their church, but they would never curse in front of someone.
That's my point. It doesn't. Cursing doesn't make you a bad person.
Not at all.
No,
Not
but I
at
think
all.
that I don't know. I always because it's funny. I curse here. It's like It's like I can't not do it here. But then when I'm out and about in the real world, I'm fine. It's not like I'm out in public just dropping.
Now, did you curse a lot in high school? Because I did. See, but I never cursed in front of my parents. Man, that little switch in the brain would go off. Boom.
When I'm out in public,
that doesn't with my kids. They just flip them right out in front of me. I'm like, I'm right here.
Yeah, but does it matter to you?
And now it doesn't because he's 17 years old, almost an adult, and I'm like, I ask him not to do it around other adults, his friends' parents. I'm like,
I think it makes you sound, and I've said this before, so this is on me too. I'm not judging anybody because, hello, I gave up a word for it. I think it makes you sound a little less uneducated.
A little less uneducated?
Yeah, or a little...
Words aren't your strong suit, Jen. I just like...
You know what's so sad, though? You know what's so sad to me?
Uneducated.
Here's what's so sad to me is I understood every word that just came out of her mouth. Like, I knew what she was saying.
I knew what she was saying, too.
It made no sense whatsoever.
I just want to make sure your point was clear.
Don't take my word on education either. Okay, situation. If I'm out in public somewhere and I'm standing in line and the person behind me is just like throwing out words.
Yeah.
Everything in me just wants to turn around and say, can you think of anything else to say? Like, it bothers me when that's the only thing people can say. Now, if it's just like in conversation or you accidentally do something, you say, whatever, doesn't bother me at all. Like, I don't look at you any less if it's in conversation. But if you're just dropping them and you're like out in public and it just seems like that's all your vocabulary consists of, you look a little dumb.
Now, if you're in conversation with someone, do you wait till they drop curse words before you start dropping them? Like someone you're not, someone you don't really know, someone you're new with, and you're in this conversation, like, I don't curse.
You got to read this situation.
Yeah. But if they start dropping them, then I'm like, oh, all right, gates open.
Do you ever do this? And this is a uniquely to us kind of thing. Do you ever do this where, like, because we're on the radio, and we're not allowed to curse on the radio. It's a federal violation to do it.
It is. We can get in a lot of trouble.
If ever you are with a listener, and I do this once in a while, I will throw a curse word in there because I kind of think it's a little treat for them. Because they listen to us all every morning, and they don't get to hear us do it speak like real people.
That's true.
I don't hear you do it say
often.
it once in a while, just because I think it's like endearing. Because they go, "Oh, he talks like me," even though he's. Yeah, I never hear him do it.
When you curse, Jake, I notice it because you don't curse that much. And Teresa just made a comment there. She doesn't like to hear the F word ever, so I respect that, and that's good to know. I mean, that's why you should never that's not a word I think you can just drop in conversation. And
no, I don't think the F word is just a social word. I don't think that.
You want me to get the God's name in vain just came up from Debbie. Do you want me to explain that verse to you? That's pretty amazing, actually. That verse is taken out of context because what that verse doesn't mean, like you can't say, "Oh my God," or "God." Boop. But although you got to remember, God never damned anyone. That's something to remember. But anyway, that verse is talking about that no one should ever use God's name to manipulate others. A great example of that is television evangelists who are making, if you send me $1,000, I'll pray for you, and you'll probably get $10,000. So the Bible was saying don't use God's name in vain, meaning don't use God to manipulate or to get what you want from other people. That's really what that verse means. Although I don't think you should just scream out the word Jesus Christ. I think that's...
You sound uneducated.
It just...
I've never done it.
I don't know.
Ever once in my life.
I've
said all the words, but I've never done that.
That's good. That's good. I hung around a lot of people that would say "jeez" or "Jesus" a lot, and that's real easy to get in the habit of. If I would say it, I don't mean it in a bad way, anyways. But it still makes me like, ooh, that's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think I've ever said it together either. If someone scared me really bad and I go, Jesus, and then they go, no, it's Mojo. Like whoever scared me, and then they say, you did that to me the other day. You scared me. I was like, Jesus! And then you're like, no, it's Tony.
That's the greatest of all jokes.
I know.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I can never think of it in the moment.
Now, if I hear someone go, oh, Lord, have mercy, or oh, Lord, that's
a prayer.
That doesn't really ring, it's like, eh. But if someone goes, oh my God, then it's kind of like, ooh. And even I say it sometimes, but it's like, still it catches me because of my upbringing. That was like a no-no. If I would have said, oh my God, my mom, I probably wouldn't have been allowed out of the house for a year. Yeah, I mean, that was not allowed.
Not allowed.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of comments rolling in, so I'm going to put them in here. Someone says, have you ever slipped and cursed on air, Jen? That is, yep.
Mm-hmm.
We sure
What's
have.
the story, Jen?
Well, I mean, how many times here?
Oh, okay.
I mean, we have the beep
I think he's
button.
talking about the real words, the real curse words.
Oh, like live?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done
What was
it live.
the word
where
you
we've had to
recently
dump.
said and we had to tell you can't say it, and it wasn't a curse word? Was it titty? It was titty. You can't say titty on the radio. You're not allowed to.
You can.
But you can say it on the Facebook.
You shouldn't.
My former host got suspended for it. I don't know.
I wasn't saying it derogatorily. I had said the itty bitty titty committee.
Yeah.
It was like,
whoa, can't say it.
funny. It was meant to be funny, which it
is funny. The word titty is funny. I'm sorry. It just makes
when it's
me
in
laugh.
committee form, yeah. But if you're just talking about him that way, that's kind of
It's just you would never put it on a family station.
true. And I did.
You won't get FCC fined for it.
No,
but
you won't. But
It is interesting, though, what we'll say sometimes on the air that is offensive to some people and not to others. Right?
we get emails.
Yeah.
We get sometimes daily emails of something.
There was one bit we did, and maybe it was the Wait, What Happened stories, where a gentleman was talking to me, and he had his kid with him, and he goes, sometimes we have to turn it, and that bothered me. He's like, sometimes, in other words, there were stories that I was choosing that maybe were a little bit, so that's why I try never to do that anymore. But yeah, and so sometimes we do forget. Sometimes I do forget, like, there might be a kid in the car, so
we try to remember that your
We try
kiddos
to
and your
remember.
families are in the car. Like it's in the We got lots of stuff tucked in the back of our minds as we use phrases or use our words as we tell and pick our stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're always
and I want people to my language to reflect someone who is of good moral character. You know,
I mean, again, I will say that saying ass doesn't make you immoral.
No.
I'm just saying
I can say that was
you don't want to say it around kids, and so I think that's one of those words that we try not to ever use.
I loved moving to the West Coast from the Bible Belt of Texas and West Virginia because people here are less legalistic. And like the first wedding I officiated, someone said, "Come here, Pastor. We got to do a shot before we go down there." They literally made me come over and do a shot before we did the wedding. And that in Texas, had I drank a beer or something at a wedding, I probably would have been fired as a pastor.
Wow.
Probably would have. Yeah, it would have been like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't do that.
Well, imbibing is a sin, right? Isn't it? Drinking.
Drinking's not a sin.
No, it's not a sin. Getting drunk.
Being drunk is a sin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Being a drunkard.
What else do we have?
We've got my favorite alternative is "Oh Mother Father." That's really funny. Never heard that one.
Yeah.
Mother, father.
Mother Father. Let's see. Somebody asking
Cheese and rice. Have you ever heard people say that?
Yeah, I've heard. I've said that. Yeah.
Rice.
Have any of you guys ever slipped up and cursed on air, then realized it and apologized? Usually we catch it, or we have this insider detail. We have this fancy little thing called a dump button, where if we do something live that just didn't go well or was bad, boop, and it flushes it.
Yeah.
The only time I haven't done that, but what I did was use the wrong radio station one time, and I had to dump that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy to do on accident.
I worked for the competitor for 10 years, and so I was doing this break, and I was talking, and Jake was standing. I'll never forget. Jake was looking at me, and at the end, I said, "The wolf," and I looked, and Jake said, "I can't believe you just did that," and I just reached over and hit the dump button, and it took it off. But it was like I seriously felt my heart just explode in my chest, and I just got hot all over. Like that's not even the biggest thing in the world, but that's really the worst curse word you could say on our radio station.
Yeah. Virtue says that everyone has the right to say what they want. We don't use that language in our home around our children, but we have a constitution for a reason. Yeah.
I really took that to a new level.
I don't.
We were talking about constitutional rights, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that does cover you. I mean,
I'm not talking about the potty words. I don't care what content comes out of your mouth.
If you think there's freedom of speech, there is not.
I'm sure there is.
I don't think there is, because if I go on the air and I drop an F-bomb, I'm going to get fired. So there's not freedom.
You're not going to go to jail. That's what it means. Freedom of speech means you're never going to go to jail for what you say.
Okay.
There's consequences,
that's
possibly.
That's a good point, Jake. Yeah.
Meg says, I have young children and words are really important. You don't want your 3-year-old dropping F-bombs at Safeway. Quick story about Bridger.
But if I heard that, if I heard a 3-year-old drop an F-bomb, I'm probably going to laugh. I'm not going to lie.
And you look straight at the parents and go, that's on you.
I was at a football game one time, and this kid was, people were carrying their baby about Bridger's size or smaller. And as they were walking across, the kid was doing this. All the way across. All the way down. And the parents, they were young parents, and they were just watching him and laughing. And I'm like, oh, my God.
I assume it's because he didn't know what he was doing, right?
Well, I think they taught him to do it.
Oh, I see.
Oh, boy.
Because he was, like, sticking it out there. Like, he thought he might have been saying, hello, everybody.
Yeah, and he was being... Bridger can't quite say the word balloon, so it sounds like boobies. Like, distinctly sounds like boobies. And I know he's saying balloons because he points at them and yells that out. And even, like, the big, cool-shaped ones, like when we go to Safeway and go grocery shopping.
Still sounds like you're talking about boobies.
In ours, when you walk in, the flower department is right, the florist is right there. And so all the balloons are up, like the happy birthday ones, the round ones, and the cool-shaped, like, dog ones. And so he constantly is yelling. Just like, I swear, people, my kid's not yelling boobies. He can't say balloons. And so I loudly, like, correct him, like, yeah, balloons.
Still, boobies are that's a funny word, too. Sorry. Anytime someone says boobies, I laugh. I can't help it. I'm a 12-year-old.
Therese says, I used to tell my kids that people who use that word a lot have a small vocabulary.
It's not necessarily true. Some really intelligent people curse a lot.
Yeah, but that's what she was telling her kids.
Yeah. Oh, I don't blame
Oh,
her.
kids.
That. But like my friend,
You got to lie to your kids.
yeah, a friend of mine who's a doctor has and a friend of mine who's a nurse said that like in the surgery that they have the worst mouths she's ever heard. Doctors and nurses in surgery, they'll be talking all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
Kind of weird, right? But
that's a real. I don't know. I guess I give a lot of grace to a very high intensity situation. Like if I had somebody's chest open and I was, doing little things in there, like. You guys go ahead and say whatever you need to say to make sure that you get that.
Jen, I don't know if we should take your bar as the bar we judge it by. Because you'll drop a piece of chocolate and
and say a word
string
I
off a string.
can't.
it is true. It is true. But but
Okay, this whole conversation wasn't supposed to be about cursing. It was about our Lent.
It evolved is what it did.
I think everybody who's
BSing
commented
session.
here has obviously sucked at their Lent promises, and they're just coming after my vocabulary.
Yeah. That's what you think is happening?
Yes.
Everybody's just trying to like shift the
Cover
blame
their
from
shame.
themselves.
Cover their shame.
I'm sure that's it, Jen. I'm sure that's it.
Covering their
that's it.
blame, because we're not talking about Tony's chocolate anymore or gluten. I don't see anybody
Nope.
commenting about that.
Talking about titties and boobies and what else? What was the other thing we threw in there?
You just wanted to say that again.
We did talk about titties and boobies.
Not really, just a word.
Stop! Oh my gosh.
All right. Let's sign off because we got work to do.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.